Welcome back. It is Friday, December 1st in the NBA. My three favorite picks are on the way. Let's recap yesterday. So close to a sweep, a 4-in-1 day. Technically, we did sweep our NFL picks going 3-0 there, but this is an NBA video. Although day one of our ladder challenge was all NFL, we still track it toward in these NBA videos because I don't feel like making another tab in the NFL ones. But either way, it's smacked. I don't necessarily know if day two will be today. We'll see. I'll update you guys in the pinned comment. We did have Wembanyama's over in PRAs. Was looking sweat-free. Then we needed a miracle, and he delivered. We appreciate him. We did add 3 plays. As a reminder, if I do add a play, which there is a good chance I add one today. It's always in the pinned comment. I posted on Twitter. I also posted to all of our paying members, which if you want to become a COS All-Star or in the DubClub, click the top link in the description. You get all our plays early. It's only like $5.99 a month. It's a great deal, in my opinion. Now, we added 3. We had Stephen Curry, 20 points and 5 assists. We had a Karl Anthony Towns and Rudy Gobert, same game parlay, which was plus 142 and was sweat-free. Then our only loss today was Paul George over in PRAs. He did not know how to make a shot last night. But either way, a 4-in-1 day. It's a little 8-3 run. Let's continue that momentum today. And November was a great month for us, plus 11.99 units. We'll take that in the NBA. We will certainly take that month any given day. Let's try to do better, though, in December. Let's start off the month strong, and it's going to involve 3 picks. Although today we have a bunch of other stuff that's coming live on the channel. We have college football picks. That video should be live around 11 or 12 p.m. Eastern time, pretty early for the college football championship games this weekend. We do have a new second channel video live, which you can check that one out linked at the end of this video. And if we ever add any plays, they will always be in the pinned comment section down below. Just a reminder, check the pinned comment, follow us on Twitter or whatever. And then also, if you just want to get the DubClub so it sends you an alert to your phone, you can certainly do that. All those details down below. But let's dive into the picks today. The first one's going to be a guy that I'm sure a lot of you guys know who he is. His name's Jason Tatum. I like his over 13.5 rebounds plus assists, minus 104 on FanDuel. Personally, I don't love taking a ton of rebounds plus assist lines because normally when we give out some picks, they do move lines technically. And I don't really love this at 14.5. Like, it could go up there. I'd rather just pivot to probably his rebounds line if that is the case. But I really do like Jason Tatum's matchup today against the Philadelphia 76ers. And we look at Tatum so far this season. While he has done well scoring the basketball, I don't love this matchup for him scoring against the Sixers. Now, Tatum is averaging 8.8 rebounds per game and 4.1 assists per game. That's good. 12.9 rebounds plus assists. That's not going to cut it today, man. We need more than that. And he is under this line in 6 of his last 10. However, he does have 2 games where he landed on 13 on the dot. So obviously some bad, luck in there. He ends on the hook twice. But I really like this matchup for him today against the Philadelphia 76ers. Now, it is worth noting, I have no idea when I record this video if Joel Embiid is playing. He was a late scratch in their last game, did not play due to illness. I'd be very shocked if Joel Embiid was not out there tonight in a big game in Boston. Joel Embiid normally likes to play in those games. I imagine he's out there, and that would be great for this bet because, that's not necessarily indicative. We don't need Embiid to play to catch this one, but it does help because why do I take rebounds plus assists versus the Sixers is because, a guy like Tatum's probably chilling in the paint, grabbing all the rebounds, while someone like Al Horford's going out and guarding Embiid. You got Drew Holiday guarding Tyrese Maxey, and that so on and so forth. So that's why Tatum's just down there chilling, and we've seen in his last 10 versus Philly, he's averaged 11 rebounds per game, 5.6 assists per game. That's good for 16.6. We only need 14 today, and in those games, 18, 15, 16, 18, 16, 17, 19, 12, 21, and 14 rebounds plus assists going over in 9 of 10 games, including 2 games this season when he had 21 and 14 rebounds plus assists. Now, obviously, Sixers have a new head coach. It is Nick Nurse. Normally, his defensive game plan is we're going to try to take away the number one guy, and that is going to be Tatum, which is why we've seen him have 6 assists in the last 2 games versus the Sixers. They don't have Kristaps, so the ball should be in his hands a little bit more here, and there should be more rebound opportunities. But I really like this one. This is the Sixers team, gives up a ton of rebounds to opposing power forwards. That's exactly what Tatum plays, and I just think this is a great spot to back him. He could honestly, we've already seen him have a game this season where he hit this over and just rebounds alone. But I also could see him grab 10 rebounds, 4 assists, something like that, or he could even get 7 or 8 assists. That would not surprise me either. It's at home. His teammates probably shoot a little bit better from the field. Sixers are obviously going to try their best to slow him down. I really like this one. Jason Tatum over 13.5 rebounds plus assists. I don't love it at 14.5. I'd rather just pivot to his over in rebounds if I had to take an individual line. Now, my second play is going to be a guy that is in dire need of a better November or better December than he had in November, and it's Mr. Jaren Jackson Jr. Over 19.5 points, minus 119 on Caesars. I honestly would play this at 20.5. Honestly, if you want to have a slight sprinkle, I don't mind JJJ for 25 plus points. I think this is a terrific matchup for him. I just have 2 concerns for Mr. Jaren. It is number 1, can he avoid foul trouble? Can you just not foul? That's all I'm asking for. I'm not asking for much. Just keep your hands off the other people. And number 2, is this game competitive versus Dallas? Now, obviously, I can't control Jaron. If he wants to go out there and hack people, that's fine. But I like his matchup in terms of avoiding foul trouble because he's not going to guard Luka Doncic. He's not guarding Kyrie Irving. He probably guards Grant Williams, who chills in the corner shooting threes. So I don't think he gets a ton of fouls in terms of, he's not guarding either of the guys handling the ball. Is the guy that he's guarding probably not driving to the hoop. So obviously Luka can come into the paint and draw some fouls on him. But this is a Mavericks team that we'll talk about in a second. Doesn't score a lot of points in the paint. So I like Jaron to avoid foul trouble. Obviously, if this game is competitive or not, that's a question mark in itself. But I think that he can hit this over even if the game is not competitive. Let's talk about JJJ though. So far this season, he's averaging 19.5 points per game. He's over in only 8 of 17 games. Now, 5 of his 9 misses likely came due to foul trouble, him playing less than 30 minutes. Obviously, that could happen today. They could get blown out. He can get into foul trouble. That's how it goes with JJJ. But we look at the last 2 games. He's played 36 and 34 minutes. One of those games they did lose by 22 points. So he played a lot of minutes, even in a game that they got blown out in, and they could lose by 20 points. And if he sees 30 plus minutes, I'll feel pretty good about this one. In those 2 games, JJJ scored 18 and 20 points, but he shot poorly from the field, 4 for 14, 28%, and 8 for 19, 42%. So look, JJJ just has not been shooting the ball well. And maybe the calendar flipping from November to December, maybe that's all JJJ needs to really dominate, because since November 11th, the past 2-3 weeks, JJJ shooting 32. I feel like I've said JJJ like 800 times. Someone should bring a tally and tell me how many times I've said it. But he shot 32.3% from the field. He's averaged 17.3 points per game on 16.3 field goal attempts and 6.9 free throw attempts. If you told me JJJ was shooting 16 times a game, averaging nearly 7 free throw attempts, I would bet you his average was probably closer to 24 points per game. But the fact he's shooting 32% obviously is nuking all of his things. But this is a guy in I feel like I've cursed myself, and I don't want to say JJJ 100 more times. But look, this guy in Jaron, that we know he's much better than a 32% shooter. He's much better than that. He's shown that throughout his NBA career. He's eventually going to get things figured out, and I expect some regression to come today in a very good matchup. The Mavericks, as we talked about before, time and time again, allowed the 3rd most points per game in the paint. And as I talked about, the Mavericks also score the 4th fewest points per game in the paint, which should help him in terms of avoiding foul trouble. JJJ's last 2 games against Dallas, 28 and 30 points. One of those games coming this season. So I'm pretty confident they use him in this one. They let him get that matchup. He's got a great matchup here. They started D Rose last game. We'll see if he starts tonight. They're really banged up. They don't really have a lot of guys healthy, but D Rose is a capable scorer, but also a capable facilitator. 9 assists last game. And look, I'm thinking he gets 15 plus field goal attempts tonight, and in a great spot. JJJ has scored 20 plus points in 7 of 10 this season with 15 shots. Last year, he hit the over in 15 of 21 such games with 15 or more field goal attempts. I just think this is a high scoring game. JJJ, I've cursed myself since I said that. I think he could score 20 points pretty easily. So obviously there's foul trouble, there's blowout concern. That's a concern for any game. I think this is a great spot to back Jaron. So give me his over 19.5 points. Now, my third and final play, this guy needs no introduction. He is a beast. He's on my shirt. It's RJ Barrett, over 22.5 points plus rebounds, minus 120 on FanDuel. Now, this is my first time betting on RJ this season, and honestly, everyone's kind of been hammering his props the last few games. He's been stinking up the joint. People have taken his. I go onto Twitter and I see a lot of RJ Barrett overs, and look, if you want to take it, today's the right day, but people have been getting wrecked by him, and I think today is the best day to back at RJ Barrett, and we'll talk about why. Now, obviously, RJ Barrett has a sore spot in this community because he ruined one of our ladder challenges. We needed to scratch that. He had an electric moment for one of the ladder challenges where he hit a 3-pointer in overtime with like 40 seconds left to cash the last leg of that ladder. That was nuts, but he also has nuked a ladder in his own regard. So he's had a great moment, also had a bad moment. It is what it is. But this season, let's talk about Barrett. He's averaging 18.8 points per game, 3.6 rebounds per game, good for 22.4 points plus rebounds. He is over this in 6 of 13, but is under in 3 straight games. Now, the under, I can kind of explain it. It's because he hasn't played a ton of minutes, and that could happen today. Last night, only 24 minutes. Josh Hart, Dante DiVincenzo both played 32 and 23 minutes off the bench. They played really well. And as a Knicks fan, I know that could happen. Barrett could get benched. It could happen. Now, I don't think it really would have mattered a ton last night because Brunson and Randall combined for 71 points, but I think this is the best matchup for RJ Barrett to dominate. Now, this could seem like a meaningless matchup to a lot of you guys. They're in Toronto taking on the Raptors. Like, Austin, who the heck cares? Who in the Knicks cares about going to Toronto to play this game? I'll let you know who cares. It's RJ Barrett because he's from Toronto. Yeah, it's the reason they call him the Maple Mamba, though I don't know if he's earned that nickname anymore. But RJ Barrett's from Toronto, and he's always played well in these games. He's always played well against the Raptors in general, and I think he'll be amped up for this game. And while there is a chance he could rest on a back-to-back, I'd be very surprised if RJ Barrett rested in this game. I imagine he has a ton of friends and family in attendance. He probably has this game circled on his calendar, and I really think it's just a great spot to back him. And we've seen when RJ Barrett is against this team, he is aggressive, shooting the basketball, but also aggressive getting those rebounds. Here you go. Barrett's last 3 games in Toronto. This is just at Toronto. 25, 23, and 37 points plus rebounds. So a couple of those pretty close, but in his last 7 games against Toronto, he has averaged 26 points per game, 6.7 rebounds per game, and he's over this line in all 7 games. He's also scored 30-plus points in 3 straight versus the Raptors. This is just a perfect matchup for him. Now, you might be like, Austin, we're not just betting on him because he's going to Canada, right? No, this is actually a really good spot for him because this is the Raptors team that now Nick Nurse is obviously in Philly. This is still a team with the same kind of mindset. We're going to try to stop your number 1 guy. They have OG Anunoby, one of the best perimeter defenders in the league. He will be on Jalen Brunson and making his life difficult. I have no idea who guards Julius Randle, maybe Siakam or Scotty Barnes. Sure. But the guy that's going to be open a lot of the time is going to be RJ Barrett, and he's been shooting well from the field. I mean, the last 2 games, not great, but he's going to get the opportunities tonight. And I think he plays more than 24 minutes than he saw last night. I think this is the guy that's going to be aggressive, attack the hoop, maybe get to the free throw line like he's been doing the past 2 games. I think this is the perfect spot to back RJ Barrett. Now, look, I know RJ can suck to watch sometimes. I've watched him plenty as a Knicks fan, but I think this is a perfect spot in Toronto versus a team that they kind of need is scoring because Josh Hart and DiVincenzo are not big scorers. So Brunson and Randall obviously get theirs. They'll do their own thing. They'll fire up some shots that are probably boneheaded shots, but that's what they do. But outside of that, Quentin Grimes in the starting lineup doesn't shoot a lot. Mitchell Robinson doesn't shoot a lot. So RJ Barrett's going to be like third, pedal that they need to go out there and be aggressive. And I think this is a great spot to back him in. So look, I got you betting on Jaren Jackson Jr. and RJ Barrett today. I had to throw in Jason Tatum so that people didn't get angry at me. But of course, those are my 3 favorite picks of the day. As a reminder, if day 2 of the ladder challenge is live, it will be posted in the pinned comment. I'll put a link there, a post there if we do end up doing it. I'm not sure. I really haven't taken a big deep dive into all those alternate lines, but we'll see. Now, number 2, if there are added plays, they're going to be in the pinned comment as well. Make sure you don't miss out on added plays. Had a couple. I definitely have one that I'm eyeballing in the Magic game. I'm just waiting for some alternate lines to come out, which will probably not be until this afternoon. So stay tuned for those. So, of course, check the pinned comment for any added details and notes. Of course, if you want to go check out our college football video, that should be live somewhere around lunchtime. I'll link it on the screen. You go check that out. See what we're betting on Saturday's slate of college football championship games. Check second channel video. It's somewhere on the screen too. There's a bunch of other ones. Go check it out. Go show the second channel some love. My name's Austin. Have a great Friday. Have a great start to December. Let's bring out the brooms tomorrow morning, and I will see you guys then. If added plays, pinned comment, check it out. Ladder challenge, I don't know. We'll see. But I'll see you guys in the next one. Have a great Friday. Peace.